Mouse, have you finished taking inventory already? Impressive. No, you're not allowed to go foraging. We can make do with what ingredients we have until you're feeling less sore. Absolutely not. I don't care if it was mostly bruising. You need some time off your feet. I only had you update the inventory so you wouldn't go out of your mind with boredom. I can think up several more such tasks for you if you need to stay busy. You have no idea, my dear. I could have you refill my fountain pens, if you like. There are a number of dirty jars and glass droppers in need of scrubbing. I thought you might not enjoy those. I could list dozens of ingredients that require processing. Would that suit you better? Let's see. First, I'd have you remove the seeds from cardamom pods, then roast them along with some cloves and star anise. Then I'd need cinnamon sticks ground into a powder. I'd also need some freshly peeled ginger, finely chopped, and some peppercorns. Oh, no. It's nothing medicinal. I've simply been dying for a good cup of chai. Perhaps I am being insufferable. Or perhaps I'd like to keep you close by, for my own comfort. Why not keep me company here a while? I'm nearly done with my notes. No. I've put my research aside for the time being. Today, I'd rather sort out what caused the house to rip up the floor yesterday. I've been taking note of small changes and mishaps in the magic's behavior ever since I first began to notice them a few months ago. I was hoping to find a pattern of some kind, an overlooked trigger, something that might begin to explain even a small part of it, but so far I haven't ascertained much. Unfortunately, the mage who built this place passed on long before I was born, or I'd write to him for answers. He left a manual behind, which I have already pored over. By all means, take a look yourself. Maybe you'll spot something I missed. You'll find maps, mostly. Here's the basic floor plan, before the house began to grow, that is. And here is the garden, before I made my alterations. I haven't looked at these in ages. Everything was so much smaller back then. I believe somewhere there's even an illustration of the invisible barrier that protects my property from intruders, usually. And there's the hearth crystal. This one serves as the house's brain, or heart, if you prefer. They're a bit mysterious, but quite useful. It is said that they hold the essence of pure, unharnessed potential, and it is this power that allows the house to create what we request of it. Last night I grew restless and went down to check on the crystal. There were no defects on its surface that I could see. It was the same color as always, no cracks, no waver in its light or how it hummed. That chapter mostly covers different commands I can give. I've often wondered if perhaps there was some error in my tone or phrasing, but nothing I tried seemed to make any difference. No. The pleases and thank yous are simply habit. What can I say? 8 years alone makes one crave conversation. Any conversation. And I like to believe the house enjoyed it when I was courteous. For now, I believe we should continue refraining from asking the house anything until we can be absolutely certain they won't be fumbled or misinterpreted. If only I knew what any of this meant. What do you think? How does the house seem to you? I'm not sure if it's possible for it to grow tired, Mouse. The crystal is a wellspring of magic, not an engine. Its energy does not wax or wane any more than the sun's does. Yet there is something rather sleep-deprived about the house's actions, isn't there? And there's nothing in the book that says the hearth crystal's magic is infinite. Oh, Lord. Should I have been letting the house rest? All these years and it never occurred to me that it might need permission. I need to check the garden. Yes, fine. Come along. You're clearly feeling up for a walk, and I could do with your clever brain. Oh, my roses. Yellowed, curling leaves, drooping blossoms. Their colour looks wan. No, they were in impeccable shape when I checked on them just 2 days ago. I had the soil to fertilizer ratio perfect, and I found no sign of parasites or disease. They were well watered, they had adequate amounts of sun and shade, and yet now they show signs of immense stress. It's as though they're no longer absorbing nutrients. Months of work ruined. Why the hell didn't I see it coming? Oh, how can you say it's not my fault when I was so utterly inattentive? I should have realized what was wrong sooner. If I'd paid more attention, you might not have fallen through the floor at all. I know. I must remain calm. Otherwise I might make the house open up a bloody sinkhole beneath us next. Thank you, Mouse. Such a strange one you are, worrying for me. I know what I look like when I'm upset, and it is not something most people would think about embracing. Not without some kind of death wish, anyway. I'm very pleased to hear that you don't have a death wish, in spite of how risky it has been to remain in my company as of late. Oh, but I must be self-critical. I demand perfection from myself more than anyone else. It's how I've made it this far. But berating myself in the garden will do neither of us any good. Let's go back inside. sure yet what we should do about the house. My first thought is to let it rest. But what if it can't? Or what if it can, but then never wakes up? I told you before, without the house's care, I fear my humanity may crumble entirely. I need to think about it before I come to a decision. Whatever we decide on, it must be done delicately. Also, I want to apologize for losing control of my temper. I suppose I've grown accustomed to arguing with myself, but to watch you watch me do it, I regretted my behavior immediately. I am aware that I did not sleep well last night. I'm also overwrought and worried sick and furious at my own ineptitude. These are not excuses. Not when it puts you in danger. Oh, is that all? I've simply spent too much time alone. Oh, you make it sound so simple. Now I know you're being serious, Mouse. Having no one but a silent mansion to vent my troubles to. It has worn on me in ways I didn't notice until I found myself with company. I realized I didn't know myself, not truly. As much as it amused me to steal you away from your former employer, you were also something of a test. I was curious if I could trust myself to tolerate another's presence. Here you are. Was I so transparent? Yes, I wanted company. It didn't hurt that you were intriguing company, with excellent taste in roses. But mostly, I wished to see if my parents were right to fear my temper. I had no idea what you would do or how I would react. Frankly, I'm surprised all I did was roar at you a little bit. Other people are allowed to feel overwhelmed, Mouse. Not me. I've already explained why. When you have a body and instincts like mine, it is crucial to... I do not bottle up my emotions. I keep them in check. What are you poking at my arm for, you giggling menace? Are you trying to prove something? Stop it. Stop. Mouse. I mean it. I said cease. Don't look so pleased with yourself. You made me snap at you. That means nothing. Yes, and it's a miracle you're still breathing. Wait. Wait. You feel safe with me? How? I cannot control myself. I just bared my teeth in your face for poking me. I see you looking. Don't you dare pull my tail. Oh, there is a God, and he is testing me. What are you going to do next? You exasperating little... All right then, Mouse. You have my full attention. Earlier, when you said you didn't have a death wish, and I believed you, I take it back. You do. You meant all that, didn't you? You trust me. You trust me. My God. You reckless, incorrigible, fascinating creature.